Trapped in this world of fear, I can see the path that leads away.
Introduction, Crying Soul 17. This channel is being created with the hope of helping people without a home, people on the verge of losing their home, and people with addictions and or in recovery. If you have been without a home in the past but managed to create a new life for yourself, please contribute ideas, insight, and stories, etc. If you have never been in one of these situations, you might want to allow yourself to vicariously experience the evidence of this epidemic that Americans are quietly battling daily. There are many wonderful organizations with resources to offer, but it just isn't enough. There are also so many people who truly care and want to do something personally to help, but don't know where to begin. This can be the beginning. This country seems to be blinded by division and yet is desperately seeking a movement that welcomes everyone. It doesn't matter what side you are on politically, your age, sex, race, language, gang affiliation, social status, amount of education, your SMIs, or your physical appearance, etc. It matters what you can bring to the table. A tear, a smile, a dollar, a kind word, an action, a ride, your time, a haircut, addressing a person by their name, a listening ear, a doctor visit, a dentist visit, a storage room, a pair of socks, positive emotional and mental support, a job, and I can go on and on and on. Please get involved. Please subscribe to this channel to support its continuation. Also, please friend request Crying Soul New Eyes on Facebook and join one of the uplifting groups. They are private and there are no members yet. Please bring your sense of humor, your experiences, and knowledge. This is just the beginning. Your participation could be so beneficial to someone. My intention is to have up a website soon. Thank you. Description: how to become homeless or not. I would like to share resource ideas and tips with those people who are overwhelmed and in the danger zone of being evicted and or about to lose everything they've worked so hard for. It is very difficult to think clearly when your world is collapsing. It's amazing how family, neighbors, friends, and co-workers have no clue this is happening to someone right next to them, because some of these people feel so ashamed and never tell anyone or even ask for help until after the fact. If none of the information in this series of how to become homeless or not helps you gain a little extra time to make a save, then maybe it can better help prepare you for what you are about to be up against. If nothing else, I would like you to know that you are not alone. In this series, I will tell you things you might not already know about utility assistance, unemployment, loans, etc. However, if it's really going to go down, you need to know how to go about becoming homeless ahead of time so you won't lose your mind as well. Part 2 will focus on different types of homelessness and your choices. Many people don't realize that understanding the options and making a game plan can minimize the amount of time you remain in this transition. Unless you have homeless friends that will give you a heads up, nobody else really knows what to tell you about what awaits you on the other side. It will be scary, devastating, and you will go into complete shock when you enter this dimension that society pretends doesn't exist. Average transition time takes about 2 years due to many scenarios, but not limited to dark side of bureaucracy, red tape, gaslighting, manipulation and abuse, and eventually the person has surrendered to the belief that his learned self-dismissing is the best coping mechanism, as if having been indoctrinated into a cult. My wish for you is that it will not take this long and for you to resurface finding yourself with an even better and more meaningful life than when this journey began. It can happen. Thank you.
It's cold and I'm nowhere to sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me?
This is part 2 of how to become homeless or not, description of people without a home. Either you have been homeless or are right now or will be at some point. Don't think for 1 minute that it won't happen to you. Part 2 is going to be lengthy. You will see that I broke things down into groups. People think that homeless is homeless. There are many different types and also certain categories of people that have a tendency to gravitate toward this dilemma when their necessary needs have not been met. It is criminal in its own way. I personally believe that about 1/3 of the United States is homeless right now. At your job, classroom, bank, laundromat, look around. I promise you that there is at least one person a couple feet away from you that is homeless. And yes, many homeless people work and act normal. At the end of the day, they have no place to go sometimes or have a temporary bed only on a day-by-day possibility. And yet, they don't complain. There are also hundreds of thousands that are living in abandoned subways, tunnels, and sewers. These human beings have not been included in any census numbers. That doesn't mean that they don't count. I'm going to describe to you the different types, their quiet battles, and how some of them wind up the way they do. We, as human beings, need to evaluate people one by one to find out what their real needs are in order to end their predicament. Obviously, most of the unfortunate persons do not qualify by predetermined agendas and applications and guidelines for what they need. This is backwards. And in reality, a lot of housing opportunities and occasional grants are just misleading smokescreens. This is what dark bureaucracy is. In part 1 and part 2 of How to Become Homeless or Not, I am only going to tell you what I know firsthand because of experiencing and learning it myself by living it, or things that I have seen with my own eyes or have gone through with another person through advocacy. If any information is outdated, then it is outdated. However, nothing is made up, invented, studied from books or TV, secondhand, or hearsay. If I'm giving you information that I have learned by researching it, then I will tell you that. I'm not so interested in documented facts, numbers, or textbook strategies. I'm not a smartass. In part 2, I am labeling everything with the number 1. After receiving information, comments, stories, suggestions, feedback, etc., I will then come back around with the number 2 and attach the segments of public interaction as an addendum, but with reminders that it is from an outside response and second-party sources. Please subscribe so you can keep up. Thank you.
Just think about